Next item, please.
Next item, action items. Special considerations of an action item. Are there any agenda items on this agenda which board members or the superintendent wish to discuss and vote on separately? If there are, we will exclude these from the motion below.
I believe 20 needs to be pulled for a separate roll call vote. Go ahead, trustee.
I just have a question on number 7. I don't need it pulled.
You don't need it pulled, but you have a question, okay? Anyone else? Trustee Watts, would you read the motion then?
Okay. Move that action items number 1 to 21 be approved as recommended in this agenda with the exception of number 20.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Thorpe and a support by trustee Petchikoff. Trustee Petchikoff, what is your question, please?
Okay, number 7 is ordering a digital supply of chemistry books. And so I'm not going to even say where it's going or whatever, but it's a high school chemistry from 9th through 12th grade. This is more of an overarching question and concerns to if we move in this direction with the explanation that, you know, kids don't have to carry around a heavy book, we don't have to worry about updating books, we don't have to worry about books, you know, aging out kind of thing. We're anticipating that the students are always going to have a internet connection on any given day when they're needing to access this particular book for class. How are we've already seen through the COVID experience the glitches that occur with certain areas, dependability on their internet system, number 1. Number 2, we've also discovered that while we thought we had all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, that there were concerns when parents had to keep their kids home, say, for a 10-day period, and then they were getting letters automatically being sent home saying your kid has missed too many days of school, and it's going in their file for, you know, truancy or whatever we were putting it under. And then we had to go and do a course correction. If we have students who get home and the electricity is out, or their internet access is out for whatever reasons, and they have an important test the next day or an assignment, and they can't access this digital collection, and it won't just be for this particular book edition, but for if we're going to move in that direction of using digital books, are we prepared to address these, even if they're occasional glitches in the system for our students, or are they going to be held liable for not being able to do the work required because they can't get to a digital book?
I mean, I can and Tom, you can comment if you want to, but I can.
Background on the information. This is a supplemental curriculum program. This was done through the school improvement process at that particular
Right.
school, and it's vetted through Title I. So Ms. Aldebailly's department with Title I, along with MD, reviewed this particular item for approval as a supplemental curriculum program, not the main curriculum for chemistry. You raised some very good valid points that's going to have to be addressed more on the instructional side, but this one is just a supplemental program
Okay.
for the
Yeah,
chemistry
and that's why I
program.
said that I didn't need to pull this because I assumed, you know, I'm just foreseeing a potential as we move forward of going in this direction. We better have some guidelines in place in order to address issues that may arise if we're going to go in this direction of the digital world, even in a more broadly based environment. And that's all I wanted to bring to the attention of the board.
And if I can just comment about technology in general, and we know it's gotten better, but the one thing I'd always say is then if there's issues that an individual has or whatnot, that we have to have backup plans and be willing, so whether that's paper copies, I could speak to, and Mr. Addy's here, this was a presentation back like in, I think it was 1999, and I got a video sent to me, and we had a computer that went under, and it kept saying, uh-oh, in front of the board, right in front of this room. In 1999, I remember it clear, Bob, you're smiling. But we had paper printouts as backup, and so one of the things, even then, the technology wasn't as stable, is then we have to reach out and make sure that we have those other
And that's what
areas
I'm
to
asking
improvise.
for, yeah.
Like, I was on the PTA council meeting, and I think, Nafila, you were there, and my computer my internet wasn't stable. I went to the phone. I do have a battery, my backup, though, if my power went out, in my home, I have a battery backup that keeps it going. So there's all these backup systems. But with students, we gotta have backups to make sure they get the curriculum and the needs. I will give a kudos to the entire district, to Mr. Addy and his department, working with the principals. We moved the entire district to online with very few issues. I actually anticipated more on March 1st. Now, we didn't, that was done because of the special election. We wouldn't have done it if we didn't have that, but it was really a good test of our system, and it shows what we've done over the last 2 years in this pandemic and how we've upped our ability both with purchases and on the network. You do have an item on here tonight too that we presented in the finance. So I think we are thinking differently. We're stronger. No one wanted to go in the pandemic or any of those things, but we moved to things because we knew, and we were leading at the time. So we are in a much better system, in a much better position technologically. But having said that, we know the traditional methods, just like we've advocated for in-person instruction as much better than the virtual. We just got to have those redundancies to support our
And this
students.
doesn't seem to address it. They don't say anything about that there is some kind of backup book that a student could take home
Well-
with them or whatever. So
I mean,
I just don't want a
Yeah.
student to be penalized.
sure. Well,
If they
If
come
it's
across
something
an issue, yeah.
So like, just like during the pandemic, what did we do? We had paper packets available if necessary. So my thing would be if someone has some technology issue that day or that week, then we would have, whether it be paper or whatever we need to print out, or make sure that the student gets the material.
I just want to make sure that as a district,
appreciate
we
the
are
comment.
thinking in that
Sure.
direction then.
Absolutely, I think we need to. So thank you for bringing it up.
We have a roll call, please. Roll call vote.
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio?
Yes.
Trustee Moses?
Yes.
Trustee Petchkoff?
Yes,
Trustee Thor?
Yes.
Trustee Watts, yes. President McDonald?
Yes. Now we need to go back to item 20. And I kind of have a question on this. Other board members might be able to help me. I know that we have in the past pulled such items for, to be voted on separately. Now, my question is, would that item need to be pulled to be voted on separately? Or is it just because it needed a roll call vote, and now that we do everything as a roll call vote, it would not need to be pulled? I'm not sure
oh,
why
that is
they
a good
would.
question, because it is for a roll call vote.
Right.
But
That was,
I think it's still a good idea to pull
Yeah.
it, to bring attention to it.
Okay,
Because if we would've just went through the 20 items and we did have a roll call vote, it was legal vote, but we're not putting emphasis on that there is gonna be a meeting, a
Special
study
meeting.
session.
and then everybody also is
So you
aware
are
of it and
correct.
has voted specifically separately on it.
Yeah, you
Okay.
and you're choosing to do a roll call vote, but another board president might be one to say, just a blanket.
Okay,
Yeah, at this point, you don't need a roll call.
Right,
I don't
we're,
think.
we're all present, so
Yeah.
roll
We
calls
don't
aren't
need to do
necessary
roll
on
call.
others.
Yeah, you could just say, all those in favor, kind
Okay.
of thing, or.
I think everyone was just trying to be nice,
Yeah.
Roxanne, nobody wanted to.
Well, I
I'm
pulled it
willing
out,
to not be.
so-
I'm okay with that.
so please read it separately?
Yes. So recommended action, move that a board study session be held on Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022 at 6 PM in the Frank Franchi Boardroom at the Administrative Service Center. The purpose of the meeting, which is open to the public, is to discuss a potential November bond.
So moved.
Support.
Okay,
All in favor?
I'm sorry?
We still have to,
Do a roll call.
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
do-
Yep, so trustee
or
Barry,
just say all in favor.
No, this one needs a roll
Yeah.
call.
Okay,
so trustee Barry,
Yes.
trustee D'Ambrosio.
Yes.
Trustee Moses.
yes.
Trustee Petchkoff.
Yes.
Trustee Thor.
Yes.
Trustee Watts, yes. President McDonald.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Next item, please.
Do I need to read the summary
Summary.
of agenda?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yes.
yes, read the
So
summary.
summary of agenda action items. Number 1, approval of warrants. 2, approval of an award to People-Driven Technology. 3, approval of an award to Follett Content Solutions. Number 4, approval of an award to Med Electronics. Number 5, approval of an award to Opaki Educational Publishers, Heinemann Publishers, and Pioneer Valley Books per Board Report 21-83. Number 6, approval of resolution ratifying the sale of school district's 2022 refunding bonds per Board Report 21-84. Number 7, approval of an award to Gateway Education Holdings, Savas Learning Company. Number 8, approval of an award to R.E. Leggett Company. Number 9, approval of an award to Asphalt Specialist and S.J. Sealer Company. Number 10, approval of an award to TYCO-JCI. Number 11, approval of an award to Macomb Mechanical and KLM Scape and Snow per Board Report 2186. Number 12, approval of an award to Chino Roofing per Board Report 21-87. 13, approval of an award to Stafford Smith. 14 through 17, approval of non-instructional and instructional personnel items for P12. 18, approval of financial statement. 19, approval of resolution to adopt the 2021-2022 budget for all funds per Board Report 21-93. 20, approval of board study session on Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. And final, 21, approval of donations.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, discussion item, incident report procedure.
Okay, I added this to the list just because there has been some suggestion that we could improve the way that we get our incident reports. So I just wanted to have, and this shouldn't be a very long discussion, but I wanted to open it to the table to anyone who had concerns or had thoughts on that. Trustee Petlicoff.
Well, I know when this, and I was reminded of it today by Dr. Maleko, of when we started the incident reports, and it was after something happened in the district that it took, there was a lag time in our being alerted to it. And so we asked that we have a better system so that we're not hearing things through the rumor mills
Right.
rather than directly from the district administration themselves. I personally like to be informed on a regular basis of what's going on that I could potentially be confronted with by somebody from the community who has that information. And so I'm sure it's a burden on the people who have to write these reports, and it takes some time, and they may even wonder how much and what information is required to send our way, and what's of significance and what's not. And we could probably tweak it, but I still don't want to lose this line of communication. And I want it pretty regularly. I don't want to have it once a week where by then, something that happened on Monday could be filtering throughout the community and I'll be unaware of it until Friday hits. So I still prefer a daily reporting only because it keeps us aware and on top of any significant incidents, which is the whole reason for the report that's occurring in the district that we should be informed about.
Well, we had a couple come through today that were rather timely. And the concern had been, or the suggestion had been to make them once a day at the end of the day. That was one of the suggestions. So that's why I'm just throwing it out there. Trustee Thorpe.
Like Trustee Petlicoff said, there were some times where we're hearing things secondhand and we're not hearing it from the administration. So I've liked having things in more of a real-time setting because I don't want to have to be reaching out to Dr. Maleko and saying, all right, why am I hearing about this from someone else other than you? I understand the idea of once daily, but then it's on me that have I really been checking, am I paying attention to what's going on in the district versus are they not getting us information real time? When we have a real event like a lockdown or something like that, you know that parents are gonna light us up, wanting to know what's going on. So it's better if we're able to get that information immediately. You could possibly say that there's some things that are very high priority and we need to know right away, and there's some things that aren't as important. But I don't know that the system's broken right now where we need to try to fix it and have somebody make a decision, how important is this that the board needs to know now versus later?
Any other thoughts, trustee Barry?
I completely agree with trustee Petrikov, trustee Thorpe. I want to know what's going on. I mean, we've been burned before, where you get a phone call, we're looking for the superintendent, to find out what's going on, and the tongue twister, the rumor mill starts. I'm very happy with the system. I can see some of the things can be pushed till the end of the day, so our directors are not sitting there all the time. But if something happens, and I guess we can have a further discussion on what qualifies as something we want to find out about real time. I mean, obviously, obvious is if there's a lockdown or if there's something going on in the community that, that we need to be aware of, I want to know right away, so thank you.
Trustee Moses?
Yeah, I don't have much to add, but I just want to say how valuable these reports are. And sometimes, yeah, I don't honestly get to them until the end of the day, but I do appreciate the promptness of all of the executive directors along with Dr. Maleko, and possibly sometimes some directors push us these reports. And I think those are very important, especially if it's kind of a live event or some kind of something going on in our schools that we need to be aware of.
Anyone else?
I was just gonna agree with everybody else. I appreciate the timeliness of them because when they come through, I do read them. If I see the notification pop up, I'll read them immediately just to make me aware of anything that may be happening in any of the schools, so I appreciate that.
The only thing that I would add, and I agree with the timeliness, the only thing that I would add is, and I don't know why, maybe I ought to pay closer attention, but sometimes I will get the same one from 3 different sources. Does anyone have that issue? Well, I'll get an incident
Maybe
report.
sometimes there's an update on something. Maybe
Yeah.
somebody's
No,
got
it's not an
something there.
update, it's the same exact, and it's just,
They might be pushing the same list that they have to go out to one group, and maybe your name is
Oh.
added to a secondary list.
perhaps.
I don't have
Sense.
that
Would
happen.
make sense.
Yeah, I'm the only one that's had that happen.
No,
I'll have to
I've
pay-
had it happen on odd occasion here and there. It's not a regular occurrence. But that's what I think is happening if you're included in a couple different lists.
Okay,
The only other-
Okay, so what may have happened is we have the new, and if I could just mention, we have the list Board of Education / the execs that get it. So maybe what happened is they typed in both, so you got a double.
Yeah, that's
So I
what
get
I
doubles
think.
and I just accept it because I'm in so
Yeah.
many groups that I just have to
That's
get it.
what I just accepted.
So I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Now, I will
Not a
say
big
too, if
deal.
it's okay, I brought this up with my team, and I think trustee Barry, a couple of years ago, we talked about it, and maybe trustee, I think under your president, and at the time, the team was like, okay, they really want it just to get it in. But like, our team, it's really to the pleasure of the board, what is for you, because we can handle it either way. Meaning, my team wants to put it in right away when they can, but we have a system that we could do it either way. So like, we weren't saying, and again, we were doing this because of the discussion of the board, we have a system with Ms. Farage that the COVID, where that's a weekly, which is different, and we changed that for good reason. But it's entered right away by the executive into the sheet, and then it just gets sent later. So we have that ability to do it during the day. But my team, the only thing they would say is they just want to be able to enter it right away. But that's okay, because either they can enter it and it goes to you, or they can enter and it goes in the sheet, and then it would be sent at the end of the day. But we don't, either way, it doesn't
change
it just,
the-
the only thing my team said is that just understand that if, and that was discussed at the executive meeting, was that if we do it end of the day, they're okay with that, but understand that you're getting it at the end of the day, you're not getting it like in the morning. Now, obviously, if it's a school closure or something, I text you guys to let you know anyway on, not, the incident, because usually it's early in the morning or late at night. But those kind of things, I try to, I guess we pride ourselves on trying to, communicate with all of you, keep you all informed. We are a large district though, and with, technology, a lot of times, sometimes it's not filtered through to me even, or my team, because it's out on one of the social media sources so quick. A lot of times it's missing, it's not correct information, so we're good. I think it's, at my superintendent training that I do with the Michigan leadership, I talk about our communication system. I train in front of all the superintendents, and again, it's evolved over time. But I think between all of us, I pride ourselves on the fact that you guys are active participants, and, you know, we pride ourselves with our team on what we do. And a lot of times we are trying to say, okay, limit it, but sometimes you'll see the updates, it's done on purpose because we see this issue has dragged on. And the one thing that I think is nice is it kind of documents the history.
Right.
So like sometimes you'll get something that was from 8 months ago,
And all of a
literally.
sudden it's
Now,
been
it was solved
updated.
at the time, but now it reminds you of the history of what we've been dealing with this
Yeah,
kind of
I
thing.
don't, I like it. I
So,
don't have a
but the
problem.
timing of it is totally up to all of you, and I
No,
know
no.
Pat, trustee D'Ambrosio talked to me, and then, but our team is good, but whatever we can do, you know, if you ever have suggestions on how I can improve communication, I'm open to that. I want to make it work for all of you, because I understand that, you know, this is something you're doing, in addition to the things that you have to do, with your jobs and your home and your life, and you're dedicated, so I want to make it convenient so it's not overwhelming, and make sure you get the information you need.
To me, that's very valuable, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Something happened, what is it, I don't know, 5, 6 weeks ago, where a certain media outlet was putting something out. Well, I already had what happened in my hand, so when somebody called me, I was able to answer them. No, that's not correct, that's not what's going on.
Yeah.
You need to talk to your children and let them talk to their friends, that's not what's going on, and that was very valuable that day for me, so.
Okay, well, the point of this discussion was to clarify and to give guidance to the administration. So is what I'm feeling and what I'm hearing is that people appreciate the way that it's currently done and are happy with that.
Yeah.
Everybody good?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay,
Okay,
there we go.
It's always
Next.
worth a discussion to try to
Absolutely.
see and improve, right? So thank you, President McDonald. And
Absolutely. Next item, please.
Board of Education Business, Acknowledgement of Correspondence.
Trustee Thorpe?
I believe the whole board has now received an email from Ms. Harris about the Teacher of the Year award. Originally, the Chamber of Commerce had reached out to me, and I directed them to Ms. Harris. So I just wanted to make sure everyone does know that the Teacher of the Year invite went out to all of us, so we're able to attend. Great.
Anyone else? Next item?
Board Member Committee and Organization Reports.
Was there one
There was
today?
There
Oh,
was
was there?
two.
Do you want to go first?
Okay, who wants to go first?
So the policy meeting, committee met today at 6, and we discussed the dress code guidelines that we have. We were able to get some feedback from some of the elementary, middle school, and high school administrators, and we're going to be reaching out to get additional feedback from parents and from also our student groups. So, TBD.
Okay.
Building and Site met today as well. We talked about several items. We talked a little bit about the VIP committee that we're going to be having the session on next week. We also talked about the building use policy. What we're going to do is circulate the updates that have been put out by the administration to the full board, see if anyone has any questions on anything. We'd like to be able to move forward with this sooner than later. We're targeting when we return from spring break to implement the new system on the building use policy. We talked a little bit about the way we are displaying the dashboard for how we've been using stimulus funds from the different federal programs, along with what we've been doing with our own funds that we set aside for our site funds. And along with that, the schedule, so people will know what have we completed, what are we working on now, and what's coming up in the future. We talked a little bit about the updates on replacing the fuel storage tanks. Also, we're in the middle of doing an upgrade on our emergency notification system. However, there's supply chain issues with the whole world, including clocks. So we're kind of updating schools as we've got enough clocks to update them. That was it.
Okay. Trustee Barry?
I want to make a comment, and I'm going to preface, I don't want anybody to read too much into it, but especially the audience. we as a board serve two institutions, Dearborn Public Schools and Henry Ford College, so I will make the same statement at Henry Ford College. With committee chairs, you were supposed to be working with the EO, AKA President of the Superintendent or President of the college, to put an agenda together. I'm very, very concerned what I've been seeing the past, I'm addressing my colleagues here, very concerned what I've been seeing this past year. There was a time where we were looking at limiting maybe parent involvement. We knew that wasn't the right thing, so that was crushed. Then now I've seen recently where if an employee or a union head speaks up, there's a change of policy. And what's really, really, really bad now is one of our colleagues speaks up and we're looking for a policy change. All I'm saying is be very, very careful. These policies have been around for a long, long time and they've served us well. Not saying that they don't need to be updated every once in a while or looked at, but just be cautious, be careful where this is heading, so. And that's all I got to say on that, please. Thank you.
Okay. I met with the Wayne County Association of School Boards. I serve on that committee. I'm sorry, I've been losing my voice. And we had a meeting, and this is your organization, your Wayne County portion of the Organization for School Boards. So you may have noticed that lately you've been getting some more communications. After being down for a couple of years, and they had some changes on the board as well, they are really starting to rebuild, and they want to get the information out. So you will notice some emails coming from, it may be WASB, it may be Darlene, it could be from Charlie Kaminsky, and it could also be from Michael, he's new, Michael Latvis, and he works as the legislative chair, or the legislative person for that group. So he will have legislative updates. So again, this is your group, so look at those emails, and it is what you make of it to you. So the more that you want out of it, the more you will get out of it. It is a good group of people, and they are trying to rebuild. So one thing, there is a general meeting, and it is April 7th, and that is for everyone. Sometimes they will have a speaker, sometimes they will have legislative updates. Right now, they normally take place at RISA, but for the time being, because there's some COVID protocols still in place at RISA, and they want to provide meals, it is taking place at the Lincoln Park Administrative Building, which is about the same distance as RISA is from here. So for us, it's convenient. Everyone is welcome to the general meeting. It starts at 5:30. There is a dinner served. Again, that is April 7th, and it's a good time to network and to get to know what that organization is about and how they can help you. You may have also, I wanted to add that last month I had talked about us possibly hosting the Wayne County portion of the MASB Awards. I had brought it to that group, and I have committed us, we will be hosting that next spring. Also, just to let you know, you may have received some information about the Wayne County Association of School Boards setting up some local chances to have CBA classes. There are 4 coming up this month, and those are March 24th. There is Civility, a tool for conflict management, and that is CBA 294. There's also Communicating Effectively in Difficult Times, that's CBA 232. Both of those are offered on Thursday, the 24th, but the deadline to sign up is on 3/18. And these classes, because they are offered in Wayne County, again, dinner will be served for these classes, a chance to network, and it's also half price
Right.
for Wayne County school board members. And on the 31st, they have collaborative conversations for effective decision-making, CBA 365. And they also have Data First High School and Beyond, CBA 344. So the information was sent to you. If you're interested, please sign up. if there are not 15 people signed up for those classes by the deadline, they will be canceled because you have to have people show up to run the classes. So thank you very much. That is my report on that.
Thank you
Trustee
for
Barry.
reminding us. I know when I first sat on this board, God bless her soul, Pamela Adams encouraged me to attend those meetings. It was great networking, very educational. So thank you for letting us know that they're restarting or re-engaging, whatever. So
Absolutely.
I strongly recommend that to be engaged there.
Anyone else? Next item, please.
Requests for information and/or future agenda items.
I already requested the
Yes.
information, so.
I don't see any more. Oh,
Did we miss
You
commentary?
did, Ms.
Oh.
Commentary,
Board
yes.
member
Oh.
and superintendent.
I'm sorry,
commentary.
yes, board member and superintendent commentary.
Apologies.
Bring it up.
Go ahead, trustee Thorpe.
Do you have something? to
Okay,
say?
yes, I actually do, and it's a serious one. In 2 weeks, we're gonna be breaking for a week for spring break. We had an unfortunate accident that happened to one of our students several years ago. So I would ask the students, and I would ask their parents, please be cautious on spring break. We don't wanna have anyone not able to return to school once we come back in session.
I know
Trustee Wilson?
commendations, it was mentioned, and Omar stressed that I mentioned this, that stout community in all of the middle schools and all of our Dearborn students are thoughts and prayers with Polly's dad. Obviously, Polly is a Smith student who is donating his bone marrow to his deaf father at Ann Arbor. So we hope that goes well for both. And I just love the community, how they came together and raised money to cover the expenses for the operation. And we wish both to be healthy. The one thing that I'd like to also mention is March Reading Month, and really enjoyed now going back to the schools and reading to our students. And today I was at Duval, and it was just amazing, both Miss Grell's and Miss Prest's classrooms. Looking forward to read to more classrooms. Obviously, we can't cover all of schools, but I would hope that I would definitely be around in various elementaries. Thank you.
Trustee Barry?
Earlier today, we lost a parent and one of three children in the district, one being a senior at Dearborn High School, so you might want to reach out to administration. I know there was a lot of communication online. This student is hurting. It's God bless his soul. It's Hamid Hamid family is very, very invested in this community. It's a big family. They're all Dearborn Public Schools products. This gentleman, God bless his soul, had cancer, fought cancer for the last few years. So our thoughts and prayers, condolences go out to the family. But the reason I bring this up here is let's reach out to the administration and find out who the siblings are. I'm sure it's probably, I'm assuming it's probably Brian at Dearborn High, so.
Well, my understanding, I just read he was in Dearborn Heights.
He's a Dearborn, his kids attend Dearborn High and Bryant.
They said Dearborn Heights. I
He
don't
lives
know.
in the Dearborn Heights as part of the district.
Oh, they were from the River Oaks.
Recently moved there,
Yeah,
they've always lived
okay.
in Dearborn.
Okay,
Big
I just
family.
wasn't sure, I was
No,
confused,
yeah,
yeah.
but I know his daughter is a senior, I know the family very
Okay.
well, but so they're hurting, kids are hurting, so you might wanna reach out tomorrow to the administration.
Trustee Thorpe?
My daughter would kill me if I don't mention that Dearborn High's drama club or theater program is running a play Wednesday through Saturday. Something Rotten is the name of it. Tickets are available. It's not Something Rotten?
No, it is, but
That's actually the name of the
don't know
play.
the
It's
name
not,
of
it
the
has
play.
nothing about the way
I was
it'll
gonna
be.
say, she's gonna definitely
But
kill
I
me.
also know that it's a popular time for the theater programs. You mentioned how Bryant did theirs last week. They did a great job. And I know some of the other programs are also going on, so make sure you get a chance to get out and see what these kids are working on. They were very proud of what they've done.
Well, I mentioned, my colleague was there, but so was our superintendent
Yeah,
at the.
Spelling
yeah,
bee too.
At the Bryant Friday night.
Any other commentary? Next item, please.
Requests for information and/or future agenda items.
I think we did that.
Okay.
Next item.
All right. Future meeting dates, Monday, March 21st, 2022, City Relations Committee meeting, 4 PM at the Dearborn Administrative Center and the Emergency Operations Center. Monday, March 21st, 2022, Henry Ford College Board of Trustees meeting, 7 PM at the Administrative Services and Conference Center, Henry Ford College in the Rosenau Boardroom. Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022, P12 Board of Education Study Session, 6 PM at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Fanchi Boardroom.
We are adjourned.